Through intercepted phone conversations, the police uncovered some shocking details about Wantana. While out at a bar with friends, she was overheard saying she didn't care about her husband Narain's death and was eagerly looking forward to cashing in on his life insurance payout so she could move on and find herself another hot guy. Hi there, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another jaw-dropping real-life story that will leave you stunned. This time, we're headed to the Phao region of Thailand, where the life of one seemingly happy woman takes a dark and twisted turn. She has a wealthy husband and, shockingly, 4 secret lovers. While her life might appear picture-perfect on the surface, there's a web of deceit and hidden secrets lurking behind it all. What's the full story behind this scandal? Let's get right into it and find out. Before we jump into today's story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this story with your friends. It's one you won't want to keep to yourself. Now, let's dive in. This is the story of Wantana, born in 1989. Raised in a devout Catholic family, Wantana attended a nun school as a teenager before going on to study nursing. Though her friends described her as introverted, there was a different side to her when it came to men. She could be surprisingly flirtatious. After graduating, she worked as a medic in a hospital and also took a part-time job as a nurse at a Catholic-run nursing home in Phao. As I mentioned earlier, Wantana had a reputation for being a bit of a flirt. In 2014, a man named Pengsak became smitten with her and wanted to date her. Pengsak, a widower 20 years her senior, worked in the hospital's finance department. Though Wantana repeatedly rejected his romantic advances, she would often flirt with him and even go out with him occasionally, especially when she needed something. In 2015, while out with friends, Wantana met Narain, a handsome engineer who held a prestigious position at a luxury car company. Sparks flew instantly. Narain was captivated by Wanthana's beauty, and she was drawn to his wealth and status. They began dating and tied the knot in February 2015 when Wantana was 26 and Narain was 33. But marriage didn't settle Wantana down. She quickly grew bored, finding her husband less attractive and charming than she once thought. Instead of spending time at home, she partied frequently, hanging out with friends and other men. Narain, however, remained unsuspecting. Since Wantana worked 2 jobs, including night shifts, she often stayed overnight, which provided the perfect cover for her secret activities. Adding to the deception, she dressed conservatively, often like a nun, which reassured her husband that she was leading a virtuous life. Now, here's where it gets wild. One night, while drinking at a bar, Wantana met Thenawat, a police officer from Phao. She claimed she was unmarried, and the two began dating. Although they rarely saw each other because of their busy schedules, Thenawat believed their relationship was serious. Serious enough to introduce her to his parents. Their affair started in April 2015, just 2 months after Wantana married Narain. But that's not all. In March 2015, Wantana also began dating a physiotherapist named Ketisak. He spent lavishly on her, fulfilling many of her demands. By May 2016, she had yet another boyfriend, also named Pengsak, who worked as a publicist for a hospitality chain in Phao. Like Ketisak, this Pengsak spent a significant amount of money on her. Meanwhile, the original Pengsak, the hospital finance employee who had pursued her for years, finally became her secret lover after her marriage to Narain. Despite knowing she was married, his love for her was so strong that he overlooked everything. He even believed her promises that they would eventually marry. In short, Wantana juggled a web of lies and relationships, charming her way into the hearts and wallets of multiple men while maintaining a seemingly respectable facade. Little did they all know, her double life was spiraling toward an explosive ending. After just a year of marriage, Wantana had grown bored of Narain, finding him dull and unexciting. Divorce, however, wasn't an option for her. She had her eyes on something else: his money. Based on her calculations, if Narain were out of the picture, she could inherit his luxury apartment and car, valued at $250,000, along with $35,000 in life insurance and a widow's pension from his company. That was the jackpot Hannah was after. But she wasn't about to get her hands dirty to make it happen. She needed someone else to do the dirty work. Her first move was to rope in her police officer boyfriend, Devious. She spun a sob story, claiming that Narain, an ex-boyfriend, was terrorizing her and wanted to harm her. She begged Devious to get rid of him, but he flatly refused. Strike one. Next, she tried her physiotherapist boyfriend, Devious, feeding him the same lies about Narain. This time, she asked him to poison Narain, but Devious wasn't on board either. Their relationship ended in February 2016 after her failed manipulation. Strike 2. Then came Pengsak, the hospital finance worker who was deeply infatuated with her. Crying, Hannah told him her marriage to Narain was a nightmare, claiming her husband often beat her. Enraged and heartbroken by her suffering, Pengsak couldn't bear to see her in pain. When she asked him to kill Narain, he agreed. Together, they devised a plan to eliminate her husband as soon as possible. On the morning of July 15, 2016, their plan unfolded. At 7:40 a.m., Narain left his apartment for work, parking his car at a 3-story public garage about 100 meters from his home. The lot was quiet, with no one else around. As Narain reached for his car door, Pengsak ambushed him, slashing his back twice with a knife. As Narain fell to the ground, Pengsak delivered 4 more fatal stabs to his chest before fleeing the scene. In the aftermath, Pengsak went into hiding, skipping work and consumed with fear over what he had done. Meanwhile, Hannah didn't seem the least bit worried. She carried on with her life, even going out with her other boyfriend, the publicist Pengsak. Later that afternoon, Narain's body was discovered in the garage. The police found no fingerprints or DNA evidence at the scene. Pengsak had worn gloves and a mask, and surveillance cameras failed to capture a clear image of the attacker. The investigation turned to Hannah, who appeared devastated during questioning, insisting it must have been a robbery. But her behavior raised red flags. While being interrogated, she spent more time scrolling on her phone than answering the police's questions. This prompted investigators to confiscate her phone, install a recording device, and return it to her the next day. Hannah never noticed the bug. The wiretaps revealed everything. In one conversation, while drinking at a bar with friends, Hannah casually said she didn't care about her husband's death and couldn't wait to cash in his life insurance so she could find another hot guy. In another recorded call, she urged Pengsak to stay silent, even promising to marry him if he did. The breakthrough came 4 months later when police searched Pengsak's home and found the knife used in the attack. With this critical piece of evidence, they were ready to act. On December 11, 2016, police arrested both Hannah and Pengsak, charging them with the murder of Narain. At first, Pengsak denied any involvement in the crime. But when the police played recordings of Hannah's chats, where she openly talked about her plans to find another man and boasted about having 4 secret boyfriends, his anger and jealousy boiled over. Feeling used and betrayed, Pengsak spilled everything. He confessed that the murder had been Hannah's idea from the start. According to Pengsak, Hannah wanted to get rid of her husband, Narain, so she could cash in on his life insurance, claim the apartment, and collect the widow's pension. She didn't love Narain at all. He even revealed that it was Hannah who had handed him the knife used in the attack. Surveillance footage from the store where the knife was purchased backed up his claims. When confronted, Hannah tried to play the victim, claiming that she did it all because Narain was abusive and often hit her. But the court-appointed doctor painted a different picture, describing Hannah as a manipulative liar who was skilled at bending the truth to suit her needs. The doctor asked a pointed question. If Narain was abusive, why didn't Hannah ever report it to her parents, friends, or the police? Why didn't she have any evidence, like bruises or medical records? The answer, it seemed, was simple. Hannah fabricated the story to manipulate Pengsak, who was deeply in love with her. The courtroom drama didn't stop there. Hannah's 3 other boyfriends, Devious, Pengsak, and Devious, were called to testify. Each one revealed details of their relationships with her, further incriminating her and exposing her lies. The revelations painted a picture of a woman who would stop at nothing to get what she wanted. Even Narain's sister, Chai Wat, testified against her. She told the court that just 2 days after Narain's funeral, Want Hannah was already busy handling the paperwork for the apartment inheritance and life insurance payout. It was as if she couldn't wait to cash in and disappear. Prosecutors also brought in witnesses who had hung out with Want Hannah at bars. They testified that she had openly talked about killing her husband for a long time. At the time, they thought she was joking, only to realize later that she had been serious all along. On October 19, 2017, the final verdict was delivered. The jury and judge found both Want Hannah and Peng Sak guilty of conspiring to murder Narain with premeditation. Want Hannah received a 22-year prison sentence, while Peng Sak was sentenced to 17 years and 6 months, a slightly lighter punishment. Neither was granted the possibility of bail. After their sentencing, the relationship between Want Hannah and Peng Sak completely fell apart. And as if her story couldn't get any wilder, rumors spread that Want Hannah had already found a new boyfriend in prison, a 59-year-old inmate who happened to be the notorious leader of the prison's criminal underworld. It seems that even behind bars, Want Hannah's web of manipulation and drama continues. What lessons can we learn from this story?